Everyone's favorite Democratic Senator John Fetterman has been flirting with switching to the Republican Party for months now. We have some major breaking updates today to show you. I think you're gonna like this. If you're new here, by the way, subscribe and let's get into it. All right, so this is all gonna come together by the end of the video, I promise. But first, I'm gonna play you a clip from Republican Majority Leader Thune saying that he's anticipating and will welcome in John Fetterman to the Republican Party if he decides to switch. Now, Fetterman switching to the Republican Party would be an absolutely massive deal. Fetterman switching to the Republican Party would give us an extra vote in the Senate, and in the Senate, every vote counts. Here's Senate Majority Leader Thune talking about it, and then I'm gonna play you what Fetterman said. Here you go, here's the clip.
Senator Fetterman has indicated that if Democrats officially become anti-Israel, he would leave the party. Have you had any conversations with him about maybe joining the GOP conference, and would you welcome him if he were to offer that message?
Yes, we would welcome him. That's what it was. I haven't talked to him recently. I have had conversations with him in the past, as have many of my colleagues, about the challenges he faces in his caucus. And, you know, there are many of us who I think would welcome the opportunity to have him join the Republican conference. But, you know, ultimately that's a decision that's up to him. And if as Senator Barrasso pointed out in his remarks, I mean, this is a party that's moving further and further, more radically, and to the more extreme left on a lot of issues. And I think people like John Fetterman, who have views that probably reflect a more moderate, or at least historically moderate, Democrat position, are really kind of people without a home. So if he ever comes to the conclusion that he's ready to move, we would certainly welcome it.
And he is exactly right. The Democratic Socialists of America, right, the commies like Mamdani and those kind of guys, and Hassan Piker, have pushed him to the point where a normal Democrat like Fetterman has kind of got to switch over to being the Republicans. For years now, Democrats have gotten crazier and crazier. And so normal people, again, like Fetterman, which represents, by the way, a sizable portion of the Democratic base, are kind of left out in the cold. This is a really, really good sign. Democrats are becoming increasingly concerned that Fetterman may make this switch. And the implications for 2026, the midterms, and 2028, if something like this happens, is huge. This clip breaks it down perfectly. Fetterman is not a raging Republican. He is honestly a Democrat. But now the moderate Democratic position is completely untenable in the Democratic Party. Here you go. Here's the clip.
For a joint fundraising committee, you know, these two men, different political parties, but they've made it very clear they're going to be bipartisan. And even though they have different perspectives, they both want what's best for Pennsylvania. And, of course, John Fetterman has become the conscience of the Democratic Party. So they're joining forces together, and let's see what the people say about this.
Yeah, and their track record sort of demonstrates this not only bipartisanship, but a commitment to Pennsylvanian values. So while many elected officials and leaders of their party have just been obsessed with Trump, these guys have been sponsoring bipartisan legislation to combat the fentanyl crisis. They've supported Nippon Steel's $14 billion investment and partnership with U.S. Steel. They secured $600 million to replace the Delaware River Bridge and improve a PA turnpike. And they joined forces in stark contrast to the governor of Pennsylvania. They said, nope, you know what? We don't mind Trump's in office. Regardless who's in office, we are American and we represent Pennsylvanians. So we are going to help represent PA at the Great American State Fair. Remember, that was the one that was boycotted by so many Democratic governors who looked the other way, celebrating America's 250th Independence Year birthday because a Republican was in office. So these guys have been walking the walk for quite some time. So now they're saying, you know what, we're going to do it formally, and let's get some other people on board.
What's going to be interesting is what Fetterman does.
Right.
Does he want to run again? Because he had some health problems.
He's going to get a primary
healthier.
challenge.
And
yes.
Does he run as, if you primary him, maybe he runs as a Republican.
Wow.
And if he does stay in the Democratic Party, do Republicans even run someone against him? So, because they work so well together,
yes.
And he's been so, you know, he visited Mar-a-Lago. He doesn't visit Trump, but they don't talk all the time. But President Trump sees what he's doing.
Yeah.
And any other, but maybe.
You know what's so crazy about the whole thing, though? Fetterman votes with the Democrats 70% of the time.
Yeah.
Like, he's not some raging Republican MAGA
Turn
guy.
into a moderate.
It's just like,
independent thinker.
There's certain things that is just common sense for him. And he's not going to be angry at the president over every little thing. I think they're losing out on him. You're going to lose a seat. It's either you go with a Fetterman type or that's going to be a Republican seat.
They are exactly right. This guy is not Ronald Reagan, but the Democrats have moved so far left, so quickly that they have left a sizable portion of their admittedly boomer base behind. All right, here's Fetterman himself talking about it. I think you want to see this. Here you go. Here's the clip.
And if that becomes the Democratic platform, that we will now ever vote for any aid and will turn our back on Israel, then that makes me to make that decision as really what a Democrat should stand for, or being a part of my party for me. Now, Jake, I've said this, that if I change my party spontaneously right now, my views and my votes aren't going to change. It's really more of a statement and if you look at the kind of people that are winning our primaries, their centerpieces of their campaign is anti-Israel kinds of rhetoric, whether it's in my state or it's whether in New York City and what's happening in Colorado now too. If you believe the Democratic Party's future is rooted in describing Israel as apartheid state or genocidal, and they don't deserve to have our support, that forces me to say, is this really make sense for me as a Democrat with these views continue to actually intensify?
Now, again, his red line may not be your red line. But when we get to this point, right, where big Democratic senators, big name Democratic senators are considering switching, the Democrats have got a real problem. And here's the reality. Like him or hate him, any senator switching to the Republican Party is a massive win for us. This is incredibly good news. Of course, I hope he makes the switch. I think he very likely will at some point in the future, but honestly, that's between him and his electorate, right? For us, though, we don't need to do anything. We can just stay in the same lane, and the moderate Democrats are going to have to come over to us as the Mamdanis of the world, the AOCs of the world, gain more prominence in the Democratic Party. Anyway, guys, I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to subscribe down below if you're new. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.